My girlfriend of 4 years vanished without a word. I didn't sleep for 36 hours. M28 here. I need to write this down because I genuinely don't know if I'm losing my mind or if this is as insane as it feels. 4 years. That's how long Mara, F26, and I have been together. We moved across the country 8 months ago for a fresh start. New jobs, new apartment, new life. We talked about marriage. I'd been looking at rings for 3 months. We made plans. Her parents loved me. I loved them. Everything felt solid. I work IT help desk at a community college. Nothing fancy, but it's stable, and I like helping people fix their tech problems. Mara manages shifts part-time at a retail fashion boutique downtown. Our schedules are different, but we made it work. We always made it work. Tuesday night, I came home from my shift around 8 p.m. I texted her I was leaving work like I always do. No response, but that's normal. She's usually busy closing up the store. I opened the apartment door. Empty. Not just, she's out, empty. Empty, empty. Her clothes, gone. Her toiletries from the bathroom, gone. Her laptop, her chargers, her books, that stupid ceramic owl she loved, all gone. The closet looked like someone had evacuated in a hurry. Hangers on the floor. Drawers half open. No note. No text. No call. Nothing. I stood there for maybe 10 minutes just trying to process what I was seeing. Then the panic hit. Real, visceral panic that made my chest tight and my hands shake. I called her. Straight to voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. 15 times. Voicemail every single time. I called the store. They said she'd left at 5 p.m. like usual. I called her best friend back home. She hadn't heard from her. I called her parents. They were confused, said they'd talked to her Sunday and everything was fine. By 11 p.m., I was calling hospitals. Every single hospital within a 50-mile radius. Hi, I'm looking for a patient. Mara Quinn, Quinn, female, 26 years old. Over and over, nothing. I filed a missing person report online. The automated system said someone would follow up within 24 hours for non-emergency cases. 24 hours. An eternity. I didn't sleep. I sat on our couch, my couch now, I guess, refreshing her social media every 30 seconds, checking her location sharing, she'd turned it off, sending messages that never showed as read. At 3 a.m., I couldn't take the walls closing in anymore. I walked around our neighborhood looking for, I don't even know what. Her car, a sign she'd been in an accident, anything that would make this make sense. The streets were empty. The park was deserted. I walked for an hour with my phone clutched in my hand, waiting for it to ring. It didn't. Wednesday morning, I called in sick to work. I couldn't function. My hands were shaking. I kept thinking about all the true crime podcasts, all the worst-case scenarios. Car accident, kidnapping, worse. Then around noon, I got a text from Rylan Avery, one of her co-workers. We'd met a few times at company events. Hey man, is everything okay? Mara asked for the whole day off yesterday. Said it was personal. Just wanted to check in. I read that message probably 50 times. Let the words sink in one by one. She'd requested the day off. She planned this. She knew she was leaving and she didn't tell me. She let me come home to an empty apartment. She let me panic. She let me call hospitals at midnight. She let me imagine the absolute worst. That's when something inside me just clicked off. The panic stopped. The fear stopped. In its place was something much colder, much quieter. Clarity. Update 1. I didn't think I'd be back here, but you all were right about needing to document this. And honestly, I need to talk to someone, even if it's strangers on the internet. After I found out she'd planned the day off, I went numb. Not in a bad way, in a protective way. Like my brain flipped a switch and said, we're done being afraid now. I stopped calling her phone, stopped texting, stopped refreshing her social media, stopped checking my email every 5 minutes hoping for an explanation. I took Wednesday and Thursday off work completely. My boss was understanding. I kept it vague, just said I was dealing with a personal emergency. Those 2 days, I went into autopilot mode. I started packing up everything she'd left behind. and there was more than I'd initially realized. Her winter coat was still in the hall closet, the nice wool one she'd saved up for. In the bathroom, I found makeup items that had rolled under the cabinet, a tube of lipstick, a mascara, some hair ties. There was a box of photos in the spare room closet, old Polaroids from college, printed Instagram photos we'd gotten made at Walgreens one random afternoon. I packed them all. A small jewelry box with earrings she rarely wore, a half-empty bottle of her perfume, 3 books on the bedside table that were hers, not mine, a phone charger, a sweater draped over the bedroom chair. I worked methodically. I didn't cry. I didn't get angry. I just packed everything into cardboard boxes I'd picked up from the liquor store down the street. I labeled each box with a Sharpie: clothes, bathroom, personal items, books, misc. By Thursday afternoon, I had 6 boxes stacked neatly by the front door. The apartment looked different, emptier, but also clearer somehow. I sat on the couch Thursday afternoon, staring at those boxes, and thought about what to do next. I'd need to get them to her somehow. Should I contact her? Ship them? I didn't know where she was staying. I didn't have to wait long to figure it out. Thursday night, around 9 p.m., I was heating up a frozen pizza when I heard a sound I recognized instantly. A key in the lock. My door lock. The one she still had a key to. The door opened slowly, carefully, like she was afraid of what she might find inside. Mara stepped in. She looked awful, and I don't mean that cruelly. I mean she objectively looked like she hadn't slept or eaten in days. Her hair was unwashed, pulled into a messy ponytail. No makeup. Red, swollen eyes behind her glasses. She was wearing the same jeans and t-shirt I'd last seen her in Monday morning, now wrinkled like she'd slept in them. She saw me sitting on the couch. Then she saw the boxes by the door. Her eyes went to them, then back to me, then back to the boxes. Her face crumpled. Elias, I stood up. I didn't walk toward her. I just stood there and said very calmly, very evenly, "You can take your things." She made this sound, half sob, half gasp, and the crying started immediately. Not delicate tears, full body shaking sobs, the kind where you can barely breathe. Her hands were covering her face, and her shoulders were heaving. "I'm so sorry." Her voice was barely intelligible through the crying. "I'm so sorry. I made a huge mistake. I panicked. I didn't know how to. I couldn't. You let me think you were dead." The bluntness of it seemed to hit her like a physical blow. She dropped her hands from her face, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I know," she whispered. "I know. God, Elias, I know. I'm the worst person alive. You let me call hospitals. You let me walk around the neighborhood at 3 in the morning. You let me file a police report. You let me sit here for 36 hours thinking something terrible had happened to you." I wasn't thinking clearly, she tried. I was confused and overwhelmed and scared and... "You requested time off from work." She froze. Her mouth was still open, mid-sentence, but no words came out. "You planned this at least a day in advance. You woke up Tuesday morning, you kissed me goodbye when I left for work, and you knew. You already knew that today was the day you were going to pack your things and leave without saying a single word." "It wasn't like that." "Then what was it like, Mara?" She tried to explain. It came out in fragments between sobs. She was confused about our future. She felt overwhelmed by how serious things had gotten. She'd been having doubts about whether she was ready for marriage. She panicked. She needed space to think. She stayed at a motel across town because she needed to be alone. I listened to all of it. Didn't interrupt. Didn't react. Just listened. When she finally ran out of words, when the excuses dried up and she was just standing there crying, I said, "You can go." She looked at me like I'd slapped her. "What? You can go. That's what you wanted Tuesday, right? To go. So go." "Elias, please. Can we talk? Can we sit down and actually talk about this? I made a mistake, but we can fix this. We can..." "There's nothing to fix. You made your choice. I didn't choose to leave you. I don't know. I chose to run away from my feelings for a few days, but I didn't choose to end us. I came back, didn't I? Doesn't that mean something? It means you figured out whatever you were chasing wasn't worth it." That's not the same as choosing me. She opened her mouth to argue, but nothing came out. The boxes are ready. Your car is still in the parking garage? She nodded, crying so hard she was hiccuping. Okay, let's get them loaded. I started picking up boxes. She just stood there frozen. You're helping me move out? I'm making sure you have somewhere to go. Then this is done. It took 3 trips to get all the boxes down to the parking garage and loaded into her car. She kept trying to start conversations I wouldn't engage in. She asked if I'd eaten, if I was sleeping okay, if I'd talked to anyone about this. Like she was trying to care for me while actively having caused the crisis in the first place. When the last box was in her trunk, I told her about the apartment complex I'd found. I'd called that morning, actually. Short-term furnished apartments, month-to-month leases, available immediately. I gave her the address. I'll drive ahead, follow me. She looked completely bewildered. You're driving me there? I'm making sure you have somewhere safe to sleep tonight. After that, we don't need to see each other again. The drive took about 20 minutes, her following my taillights through streets that were almost empty. I kept checking my rearview mirror. She was there, her face visible in the glow of her dashboard, still crying. When we pulled up to the apartment complex, I parked and waited. She parked next to me. I called ahead, I told her. They're expecting you. Go inside and talk to the front desk. She looked at the building, then back at me. I can't afford this place long term. It's month to month. You can find something permanent later. She stood there for a long moment, keys in her hand. Then she whispered, Could I move back in? Could we try again? I swear I'll do better. I'll go to therapy. I'll work on my communication. I'll do whatever it takes. I love you. I know I hurt you, but I love you so much, and these last few days without you have been absolute hell. I can't eat. I can't sleep. Please, please just give me one more chance. I looked at her for a long moment, really looked at her. This person I'd spent 4 years with. This person I'd imagined marrying. No. Elias, you should have thought about that before you vanished. I'm sorry. What else can I say? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I know I messed up, but people make mistakes. That doesn't mean we throw away 4 years. You threw them away, not me. She reached for my arm. I stepped back. I'm going home now, I said. You should go inside. Don't leave. Please don't leave me here alone. You didn't seem to have a problem leaving me alone Tuesday night. I got back in my car and started the engine. She stood there watching me. I put the car in reverse and started backing out. That's when she ran. I saw her in my rearview mirror, actually running after my car as I pulled out of the parking lot. She was calling my name, Elias, Ilias, her voice getting smaller as I turned onto the main road. She chased me for maybe 50 feet before she stopped, standing in the middle of the parking lot, watching my taillights disappear. I could still see her when I turned the corner. A small figure under the streetlights, getting smaller and smaller until I couldn't see her anymore. I didn't stop. Update 2. Some of you DM'd asking if I was okay. I appreciate it. This has been the strangest month of my life. She started calling every single night around 1 a.m., like clockwork. I'd be asleep and my phone would light up with her name. At first I didn't answer. Then I blocked her number. She called from different numbers, borrowed phones, texting apps, whatever she could find. One night she called from 7 different numbers. The voicemails were all variations on the same theme. I'm sorry. I love you. Please talk to me. I made a terrible mistake. I'll do anything. After 2 weeks of this, I unblocked her main number and texted, I'll meet you once, one conversation, then this stops. She responded in under 30 seconds. Yes, anywhere, anytime, thank you. We met at a quiet bar on the edge of town on a Wednesday night. She was already there when I arrived, sitting in a corner booth. She'd lost weight. Dark circles under her eyes even through carefully applied concealer. I sat down across from her. Before I could say anything, she started. I've been seeing a therapist, twice a week. I needed to understand why I did what I did, why I ran like that. I didn't respond, just listened. She helped me realize that I've always had this pattern of running when things get too real, when commitment gets too close, when you started looking at rings, when it became this inevitable next step. I freaked out. I started having these thoughts like, what if this is wrong? And what if I'm making a mistake? And I couldn't make them stop. And instead of talking to you about it, I convinced myself that I needed to test it, to see what it felt like to be alone, to see if I'd miss you. Tears started streaming down her face. And I missed you. Immediately, the second I left with all my stuff, I regretted it. I sat in that motel room and I cried and I thought, what have I done? But I was too ashamed to come back right away. So I stayed there for a few days, trying to work up the courage. She was crying hard now. I know that doesn't excuse it. I know that me being scared doesn't justify letting you think I was hurt or missing. I was cruel to you in a way that's unforgivable. And I'm so sorry. I'm begging you to give me another chance. We can go to couples counseling. I'll keep going to therapy. I'll work on everything. Please, Elias, please. I love you. These past 3 weeks without you have been the worst of my entire life. She reached across the table for my hand. I pulled it back. I need you to understand something, I said. My voice was steady, calm. It's not about the leaving. People leave relationships. That happens. It's about the fact that you knew I'd be terrified and you did it anyway. I wasn't thinking clearly. You requested the day off from work, Mara. You spent Monday night with me, acting normal, knowing that the next day you were going to pack all your things and vanish. You knew exactly what you were going to do and how it would make me feel. I'm sorry, she sobbed. What else can I say? I hate myself for it. I don't hate you. I just can't trust you. And without trust, there's nothing. Even if I spent years proving myself, even if you were the last person on earth. That sentence hung in the air between us. Her breath hitched. She stared at me, then put her head in her hands and started sobbing so hard the bartender looked over with concern. I stayed for another 10 minutes, mostly in silence. Then I paid for both our drinks, said goodbye, and left. She didn't chase me this time. But something had been bothering me since she came back. When I packed her things, I found a shopping bag from an expensive lingerie boutique downtown. Receipt dated Monday, the day before she left. I'd never seen the items. They weren't with the clothes she'd taken. That night after the bar, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about that receipt, about the timing. The next morning, I drove to the motel she'd mentioned staying at. I told the front desk clerk I was trying to track down something my girlfriend who'd stayed there might have left. The clerk checked the system. Yeah, she checked in Tuesday evening around 6:30 and checked out Friday morning. Paid cash. Tuesday evening, the same day she disappeared. The same day she bought new lingerie. She'd worn them that night. For someone, or for the idea of someone. Either way, she'd spent the first night of her I need space crisis in a motel with brand new lingerie. I drove home, blocked every possible way she could contact me, and deleted her number from my phone. Final update: I wasn't planning to update again, but some of you have been checking in, and I think writing this will help me close this chapter. It's been 6 months. Mara stopped calling after I blocked everything, but she's found other ways. Every few weeks, there's something new. An email from a new address, a message request on LinkedIn, a letter to my apartment, 6 pages, handwritten, going through every memory we had together. 2 months ago, she showed up at the community college where I work. I was walking across the quad when I heard her call my name. I kept walking. She followed. I walked straight to the security office. The guard escorted her off campus. Last week, a text from a new number. I think about you every day. I hope you're happy. I'll always love you. M. I stared at that message for a long time. Then I deleted it without responding. 3 days later, I blocked it. I've realized the truth isn't about what she did that night. It's about what it revealed. She knew I'd be scared. She knew I'd panic. She knew I'd call everyone we knew, searching for her, terrified. And she did it anyway because in that moment, whatever she was chasing mattered more than my peace of mind. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. Some asked if I ever found out if she was with someone. Honestly, I don't need to know. Whether she spent that night alone or with someone else doesn't change the fact that she orchestrated a disappearance that she knew would devastate me. The lingerie, the motel, the planned day off, all of it points to someone who was fully aware of what they were doing. I've learned something important. Loving someone deeply doesn't mean accepting being treated with cruelty. And silence, the kind of silence that leaves someone you love in terror, can be more cruel than any words. I haven't dated anyone new yet. I'm not ready. But I'm okay. I have my job, my apartment, good friends. Tessa Marlin, an old friend from back home, visited last month and we had a great time. My neighbor Colt, who initially thought I was being too harsh, apologized after Mara showed up at my work. Life is quiet, stable, mine. The biggest realization: the person who truly betrays you isn't always the one who lies to your face. Sometimes it's the person who knows exactly how much pain their actions will cause, and does it anyway. I gave Mara 4 years of loyalty, honesty, and trust. She gave me 1 night of terror and months of harassment. I don't regret loving her. I regret that she never learned what love actually requires. To everyone who followed this, you're allowed to set boundaries. You're allowed to walk away when someone shows you they don't value your well-being. You're allowed to choose yourself. Even when they're crying, even when they're apologizing, even when everyone else thinks you should give them another chance. Some betrayals don't get second chances, and that's okay. I'm closing this account after this. I want to fully move forward. Take care of yourselves out there. Know your worth. Elias.